Okay, so a very good afternoon to all of you guys. First, let me know online students who are watching us because today's class is on YouTube. Okay, am I audible enough to you guys? Please let me know. And till the last section, am I audible enough? Okay, I welcome all of you to the orientation session of one of the most youngest and one of the most beautiful subject on planet Earth, the name of which is sociology. Okay, youngest for very factual reason, beautiful why, you will come to know by the end of this course. Okay, it is widely assumed that you should choose your optional on the basis of two parameters. The two parameters are interest, ऐसे ही बोलते हैं ना, interest, and second parameter is marks. It is widely assumed that you should choose your optional purely on the basis of these two, but I firmly believe until you have interest, you do not get marks. That means marks is the natural outcome of interest. So what is primary? Interest is primary. So do not ever ask me how to get 300. This question is completely absurd question. Why? I'll ask you, how do you develop interest in response to this question? If you only focus on this, then you are going to lose a lot. Okay, you end up doing many things which are not really required. My target is to ensure that you develop interest in this subject. Okay, and marks will be natural outcome of that. Let us see, how do we develop interest? Firstly, my name is Nishat and I'll be your sociology faculty for the next 4-5 months. Okay, my qualifications: I've done B.Tech from IIT BHU, Masters in Sociology from Delhi School of Economics, Delhi University, and M.Phil in Sociology from GNU. This background actually helped me see the world that we every day see around us in a very different light. And I would like you to know, how can we see the world around us in the same light? And I firmly believe once you know how do you see the world around you in a very different light, then you will definitely develop interest, something with that I'm targeting a lot. You know, we, all of us, have not been, have not been having much idea about the way sociologists look into the social world. All of us know about chemistry, physics, economics, commerce, subjects that deal with numbers, figures, graphs, etc. etc. Okay, I'll be asking few questions to you right away. You will be telling me answer to those questions. Okay, and trust me, you will tell answers to all those questions. You don't need to prepare to answer those questions. Okay, and eventually I will ask you the last question, the answer to which again you only will tell and acknowledge, and then you will come to know something that I want to share with you. First question: with rise in prices of commodity, purchasing power will increase or decrease? Decrease. Do you need to study economics for this? This is common sense or not? This is common sense. Okay, fine. But today it is common sense. It was based on data, right? First, some data must have been calculated. Only then this kind of pattern was noticed. कोई चीज महंगी होएगी जितनी, उतना ही लोग उसको कम ही खरीदेंगे. Purchasing power declines. Fine. That means there is inverse relation. If I were to sound scientific, there is inverse relation here. Fine. Now I'll ask you second question. The second question is, with increase in temperature, railway tracks. I'm giving example of railway tracks because just before this class I met one railway officer. Okay, so I could not think of any other example. Okay, railway tracks. Will they expand or will they contract? Expand. Again, there is some correlation between these two. Okay. Now let me ask you another question. Okay. इन सब का जवाब जैसे मैंने आपको बोला आप ही दोगे. Okay. Third question. With convectional currents in Earth's mantle, ये थोड़ा डीप हो गया. There are some convection currents in mantle of the earth. Okay. With those currents, what do we see taking place at the surface level? जब नीचे कन्वेंशन करंट्स मूव कर रहे हैं, ऊपर क्या हो रहा है सरफेस पे? प्लेट्स आर मूविंग. ये हो रहा है कि नहीं? प्लेट्स आर शिफ्टिंग. Again, some correlation between the two. The two are changing all the times, but I am focusing on one important thing which I will reveal to you very soon. Okay. By the way, with shifts in plate, what happens? Earthquake. Okay. Now I'm adding third component. The first one, rise in price of commodity, purchasing power declines, was based on data. Second one, with increase in temperature, railway tracks expand, was based on data. Data means observation first. You observed, then you saw, was my observation limited to this Delhi ka track, or is it also there happening in Srinagar ka track? Then you saw, no, it happens everywhere. That is how you came up with this generalization. Now let me give you another question. Fourth one. Let us introduce bit of chemistry here, very basic one. Okay. So there is water, right? Let us subject water to some electricity or heat or energy. What is going to be the final outcome? H2 plus O2. That means bond. घबराना मत, ठीक है, थोड़ा सा केमिस्ट्री आ गया. बॉन्ड टूट गया. The bond broke down. मुद्दे की बात क्या है कि बॉन्ड टूट गया. इसको प्रोजेक्ट कैसे करते हैं? और ये क्या हो गया? प्लस O2, टूट गया. Can you tell me any similarity between all the four different examples? All four different examples are from four different disciplines. Can you tell me common feature to all four? Who will tell me what is common to all the four examples? Correlation. So simple. Correlation is common to all of them. Correlation between two factors or maybe three, but correlation is the common. Okay, fine. Now let me introduce last point. Joint family is having three generations. Any family is called as joint family when it has three generations. Three generation means me, my father, and my father's father. All the three, and of course, wives or mother or grandmother living together. Three generations living together is called as, three or more than three is called as joint family. Let me subject joint family to industrialization. What is the final outcome? Nuclear family. How do we project this? This is joint family. With industrialization, what remained? Can you tell me now, common to all these examples? What is common to all of them? What is common to all the five? Again, correlation. Again, correlation or causation. If this was based on observation, number 4. Number 3, if it was based on observation, 2 and 1, what is the number 5 based on? Observation again. Observation again. If the 4 that we discussed qualify them to be called as scientific on the same parameters, will the 5th one not qualify as scientific statement? You tell me. Please tell me. If the top 4 are scientific, the 5th one is scientific as well. And I'll make sure that if you do not agree today, you will have to agree by tomorrow. Okay? You will have to agree by tomorrow. Why? Because my idea is first you start seeing the world around you like this. That our world can be subject to scientific investigation, just like nature is subject to scientific investigation. This is my main idea. Okay, let me add one more example here. Okay, to reinforce this point. With expansion of service sector, you know what is service sector? There are three sectors in economy. Basically three, although we have five these days. Okay, agricultural, manufacturing, and then service. Manufacturing means industrial sector where we are producing goods like Parle-G, okay, or any other goods. Agriculture is where you are producing crops like wheat, from which you make Parle-G. Okay, service sector is the sales and marketing of Parle-G. Because sales people are not producing Parle-G, they are selling Parle-G. That is service. They are lending services to the companies. Okay. With expansion of service sector, women's participation in labor market declines or rise? You tell me. पहले मैं आपसे पूछूंगा, then I'll tell you why. क्या लगता है? Some of you will be shocked. How are these two correlated? Okay. You were not shocked with the correlation of the previous four, but with this one you will be shocked. And I'll tell you why later on. Women's participation in labor market rise, increases. Can anyone tell me why? It was observed just like any of the previous observation by different scientists, be it economist, be it geologist, be it chemist, be it physicist, be it sociologist. This one observation was based exactly on the same parameter, which is observation. When service sector expands, avenues for hospitality grows, and it is believed that women are better suited for hospitality sector. That is why you see more often than not women in hotel lines, hospital lines, airlines. Please don't take me wrong. Okay. Let us leave feminism aside for few minutes, because anyway we have feminism in our syllabus. I'm not stereotyping, I'm just talking about facts which may sound as stereotyping someone. Okay. And men will have their own chances in this subject. Okay. Anyway, women's participation in labor market increases. That means with expansion of this, increase in that is taking place. With industrialization, joint family breaks down. With electricity and heat, bonds of water break down. With so-called shifts in the convectional current, plates move, etc., etc. In all these statements, the one common thing was pattern. पैटर्न है भाई, पैटर्न है. ओके, हर चीज में पैटर्न है, रैंडम नहीं है कोई चीज. देयर आर पैटर्न्स. Scientists are known for only one thing, that they are easily able to find patterns which a common man cannot see. Maybe he does not have enough time for that, or maybe he is not paid for finding patterns. Okay, whatever may be the reason, but scientists have given their life to finding patterns. And these patterns are based on observation, right? So let me write that as well. Patterns based on observation. Which implies what? Not observing for few seconds. Like common person does not have enough time. He will observe things around him for few minutes or seconds. He will get impatient. Scientists are observing all throughout their life. They are not getting impatient. This is what they have given their life and soul to, finding patterns based on observation. And observation means based on data. Based on data. Fine. There was a point of time when people used to believe earthquakes are caused by wrath of God. There was a point of time कि ये तो भगवान का, क्या बोलते हैं रौथ को हिंदी में, प्रकोप है ना, ये प्रकोप है ये, जिसकी वजह से भूकंप आया है. और आज हम क्या बोलते हैं, हम मतलब दोज हु हैव स्टडीड साइंस, व्हाट डू वी से, हु हैव स्टडीड ज्योग्राफी, जियोलॉजी, they would say nahi, it is just shift of plate tectonics. The person in the village may not understand you, he will call you illiterate. Not just illiterate, he will charge you of blasphemy. That means that you don't respect what God is doing, and you think you are God, you know much more than God. This is what the other person may tell you. Okay, but science empowers you to question everything, including religious beliefs. And when you question religious beliefs, what is the reaction? You are no longer left to question. Okay. That means questioning comes at a cost. That is why we common people can't question things easily, but intellectuals can question. They have studied only to question. They have given their life to questioning, and they will keep questioning until they get their answer. And they don't get punished for that. They get rewarded for that. And they make news for that. And they also get views for that. Understood? Okay. So, anyway, I would like to make one point here. I talked about first 4 points. Then I continued with fifth and sixth. The fifth and sixth were from the world of sociology. Most of us may have known with industrialization, joint family breaks down into nuclear, but did we ever think enough for a second or moment to understand that this orientation is exactly what is followed by scientists in the world of chemistry, in the world of physics, in the world of geography? We did not bother enough to think it like that way. Why? Because just like fish cannot see the water, the individuals in the society cannot see the society, how it operates. Fish takes water for granted. We take our social world as much granted. And we don't bother enough to look for patterns in the very world that we are living in. The task of sociologist is to enlighten you on those very patterns that you have missed out on. Understood this point or not? यही काम है एक समाज शास्त्री का, कि वो आपको हर उस लॉ और पैटर्न के बारे में समझाए जो आपने शायद गौर ना किए हो, सोचे ना हो, क्योंकि आप उस समाज के अंदर बंध चुके हो, उस वेब के अंदर हो ऑलरेडी. ओके. Online students, did you get this point? And let me know if I was audible enough to you. In the world of sociology, right from unit 1 till last unit, we will study what? We will study patterns of social world. Understood? There are types of what we call as molecules or compounds or atoms, right? There are types of species in the ecological world, है ना? Can you tell me some types of species? ऐसे randomly बोल दो. हाँ, क्या बात है? Types of species. हर्बीवोरस, है ना? बचपन से सुना है. और कार्निवोरस, और ओमनीवोरस, और वल्चर्स. पैटर्न से टूट गए. वोरस वोरस बोलना था कुछ. फ्रूगी वोरस सुना है? फ्रूगी. UPSC CSE 2023 question prelims. Frugivorous. Okay. Animals which eat fruit are called as frugivorous. Okay. Flying fox एक नाम है. Fortunately or unfortunately, students who are preparing for civil services are asked questions from forest or environment because the paper is common to forest service officers as well. This is the basic reason that although we know that nobody is exclusively preparing for forest services, but they will definitely introduce questions on that area. Anyway, types of species, only depending on vegetarian food, only depending on flesh, eats both, eats none, only fruit. Okay. Or maybe insects sometimes. Insectivorous are also there, which is a different species. Fine. Can you tell me types of bonds, if anybody is from chemistry background or science background, types of bonds in the chemistry that we study? Very nice. Types of bond. Ionic bond. घबराने की कोई बात नहीं है इन सब चीजों से, ठीक है, हमारा कोई रिश्ता नहीं इन सब चीजों से. कोवलेंट बॉन्ड. एनी अदर बॉन्ड? विच वन? कोऑर्डिनेट बॉन्ड. नाउ सी, chemistry guys are doing their job studying types of bond. Environmentalists are doing their job, type of species. Geographers are also doing their job, types of rocks. करते हैं कि नहीं करते वो? What are the types of rocks? Types of rocks भी देख लेते हैं. Igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks. Guys, those who joined us just a minute back, yes, this is class of sociology only. Okay. Igneous rocks and sedimentary rocks. I'll ask you now one question. What is common to all these three that I talked about? Types of species, types of bond, types of rocks. What was common to all of them? Classification और typology. समझ रहे हो आप? क्लासिफिकेशन बोल लो या उसको आप टाइपोलॉजी बोल लो, एक ही बात है. The common thing to all of them was classification and typology. Now let me talk about types in the social world. Types of families. Okay. Let us see who will tell me types of families other than joint and nuclear. Fishing? Fission families. Okay, very nice. Joint और न्यूक्लियर क्लासिक तो लिख ही लेते हैं ना. There are different kinds of families. Okay. There is a family called as Dink family. Dink family means double income, no kids. So both the people are making money. Husband and wife both are working and both have decided not to have babies. Okay, life को stress free रखना है क्योंकि the cost of raising children has gone high, super high, especially in countries like USA and Europe. जब इतनी ग्रोथ होती है तो देखो क्या हो जाता है माइंडसेट के साथ हमारे. ओके, they have decided not to have kids, double income, no kids, only two people staying together, doing holiday trips every now and then and posting on Facebook and Instagram and making us envious of them. Okay, that what are we doing to our lives? Any other type of family? There is a family called as bean pole. Let me talk about the different. Weekend family. Interesting one. What is weekend family? Usually we think of family as mummy, papa, bacche, right? Husband, wife and kids. How often do you see husband, wife and kids staying together under common roof throughout the week? You see this only for 2 days. Maybe one day. If the kids are working or if father or mother or both are working, when do you see all the four sitting together? Weekends में ही तो होता ही है. So we are having weekends with our own family members these days. because of the kind of society we have become. Because be it man or woman, both are equally ambitious now. Nobody is going to sit at home. Gone are those days that women would sit idle and would simply resort to domestic activities. We are living in a different world today. Women are IPS, IAS, prime ministers, presidents. They are just equal to man. Okay. So you don't see so regularly all the four staying together throughout the weeks and months or years. Since you see it sometimes, especially during weekend, we call it weekend family. Then there is a family called as living apart together family. Husband and wife both got married, but both of them are not staying together. है ना? ये थोड़ा शॉकिंग लगता है एक बार सुनने को, बट ये हो रहा है. ओके, क्योंकि हो रहा है तो हमें शॉक नहीं होना, हमें ऑब्जर्व करना है लाइक अ साइंटिस्ट. ओके, एंड वेयर इज इट टेकिंग प्लेस? This is taking place mainly in urban dwellings, metropolitan areas, especially tier 1 cities. You can easily see this among upper class people. That means you see this pattern or typology of family in specific strata of society located in tier 1, coming from certain class. That means based on observation, we are seeing a pattern of family emerging among pattern of classes and pattern of cities. Understood this or not? Okay. Similarly, very basic question. Types of society. Can you tell me types of society? Let me make it very simple to you. Very simple. Simple. Simple society. Okay. Complex society. Simple society means village society. Complex society means city society. Okay. Types of marriages, can you tell me? Types of marriages. Monogamy, bigamy, polygamy. What is common to all these questions that I asked you? Typology and classification. In the previous slide, what was common to all the question? Correlations and patterns. अब सब ऐड करते जाएंगे इन वर्ड्स को. Correlations, patterns, classifications. And all of these was based on what? Observation. Observation for 1 second? For a long, prolonged time. Observation in a laboratory? For chemistry? Yes. For plate tectonics, was it based on laboratory? What was it based on? Satellite imaging? Maybe. है ना? और तो हम क्या ही बोल पाएंगे, लेबोरेटरी में तो हो नहीं सकता वो. ओके. अच्छा, the so-called idea of expansion of railway track with increase in heat was based on laboratory? Yes, it could be based on laboratory. Okay, you can replicate the same in lab as well. But you see it purely on the basis of your observation, consistent observation. And the breakdown of joint into nuclear with industrialization, again based on observation. Based on what? Data. How do you get this data? This is the question. Not through satellite imaging. You don't see through satellite imaging joint breaking down into nuclear. How do you see joint breaking down into nuclear? This is my question to you. बहुत अच्छा आप सोच रहे हो, पता है. सेंसस, सर्वेज किए जाते हैं, सर्वेज होते हैं. पता चलता है that in the survey that was conducted 40 years back, in one household 6 members used to live. Today when surveys are conducted, census, we see in one household 2 or 3 members living, the rest 3 are gone, And this is not limited to just Delhi. It is happening in many places. So we can see a generalization. What may have happened in the past 30, 40 years, that joint family broke down and we are left with only 3 members. So we have to study what happened in 40 years. And we see industrialization is progressing in these 40 years, maybe. So that means orientation of a sociologist is exactly like that of a scientist. And therefore, sociology is science. Dare you ever say sociology means study of caste, family, religion? Ye sab na, this is what GS1 Indian society would be. This is not sociology. Sociology is what I just discussed with you. Sociology is science of society. And this is the true meaning of science of society. When you understand what you have already known, chemistry, physics, geography, commerce, economics, and when you understand what is common to all, what you know is exactly what you find here, then you call it is a science. Understood this point? Okay. I'll give you last example. Okay. The closing example, and then I'll talk about general points about how are we going to go about this subject. Okay. You know, every now and then we read about the issue of suicide. This morning only I saw one news article on suicide. One IAS aspirant committed suicide from Madhya Pradesh, okay, after this year's examination, prelims. Okay. Now, we don't want to talk about one case. Why? Because this is not an exceptional case. It was not an outlier. Actually, there is a pattern to suicide as well. There is a pattern to suicide as well. And I'll tell you how do we identify patterns even in suicide. In Bollywood, have you heard about suicides? Heard about suicides? Can you tell me who has committed suicide in Bollywood more? The insiders of Bollywood or the people coming from outside? Outside. Pattern hai. Pattern hai. Okay. क्या इसका ये मतलब है इंसाइडर करते नहीं? करते होंगे. लेकिन पैटर्न का मतलब क्या होता है? जनरलाइजेशन कैन बी डेवलप्ड. ओके. अच्छा, I'll ask you next question. Between outsiders and insiders in Bollywood, who have committed more suicide? You said outsiders. Now, within outsider, there are two kind of groups: outsiders who are married and outsiders who are single. Who has committed suicide? Pattern दिख रहा है. Yeah. Outsiders, and outsiders may be single, and single may be men or women. Men. Pattern है. And most of these men came from humble backgrounds. ज़्यादातर they came from humble backgrounds. ऐसा नहीं है कि कोई क्या कहते हैं बैंगलोर से मुंबई जा रहा है. ओके. मुंबई जाने वाले ज्यादातर जो हम्बल बैकग्राउंड से आ रहे हैं, जिनका ड्रीम्स है, एस्पिरेशंस है. ओके. द मोमेंट दे कम टू मुंबई to get some movie offer, okay, they give their best. They try to make contacts with the directors, producers, and Karan Johars. Okay. And if they are not able to establish good contact with these people, they are not partying with them late night, they are not able to get offers for the movie. Okay. They start feeling they are ignored. If they only are committed to their work, they are ignored. They have to party hard to get offer hard. Okay, but they are ignored. And when they start feeling that since they are coming from humble background, nobody is looking up to us, nobody is looking after us, people are ignoring us, then they start calling it as nepotism. They start calling it as nepotism. Fine. That means there is one pattern here. Outsiders don't feel integrated with insiders. Single people, low integration, let me write here. Huh. Person coming from village, if he comes to city, he does not feel so well integrated with city because he starts thinking, by nobody's asking me in city. Okay. Single people or married people, who is more integrated or less integrated? Single people are less integrated or more integrated? Less integrated. They are atomized, free radicals. Okay. Married people are well established, having some good contact and network. Okay. Some solid support, and they are free radicals. Okay. Low integration. Men and women, this is very unfortunate. If you compare the two, and this is not me who's saying this, there is very famous sociologist who has actually described this. I don't want to name him for the time being. Okay. He, without naming him, I'm saying, he once said, men are less integrated as a community, but women as a community is very strong community. Can you tell me one example? If by chance any mishappening takes place with women in city, the women of India will unite. Did you ever notice this? If by chance any mishappening takes place with a woman, the women unite. But if mishappening takes place with men, do men unite? They abuse. सेंटिमेंट जो है ना कम्युनिटी वाले, वो वुमेन में ही है. You have seen feminist movement. Have you ever seen meninist movement? I don't know क्या होगा उसका नाम. Have you ever seen any meninist movement in this world on planet Earth? Only feminist. कुछ तो बात है. क्या है वो बाद में पता चलेगी. ठीक है. बट एक बात पक्की है, मैन में इंटीग्रेशन नहीं है. वुमेन प्ले किटी पार्टीज एज वेल. ओके. They enjoy their own party. Men don't have such organized thing called as kitty party, which is meant to gather men. उनका क्या होता है? बस शॉर्ट टाइप का कुछ होता है उनका गेट टुगेदर. ठीक है. लो इंटीग्रेशन है. There is a sociologist who said people having low integration are going to have higher suicide rate. This statement is no different from the statements that I made in the previous slides. Lower the integration, higher the suicide. पैटर्न है. और वो यहाँ ये आदमी वहां तक रुका नहीं. He talks about types of suicide as well. Suicide के भी types होते हैं. This is something that I will teach you later on. Because we can't think what is the type of suicide. Suicide is suicide. How is it type? There are types. Just to give you one example, there are suicide by the name of revenge suicide. That I am committing suicide today so that he gets punished tomorrow. And before committing suicide, I'll write note and write her or his name. This is suicide, but revenge suicide. Not all suicides are revenge suicides. And there are many types. I don't want to talk about it. डार्क हो जाएगी क्लास आज के लिए बहुत. ठीक है. बस मेरा पर्पस क्या बताना, टाइपोलॉजी बताना कि टाइपोलॉजी इसमें भी होता है. आप समझ रहे हो कि नहीं? ओके. I'll ask you last question. Where do you see low integration between individuals, in the village or in the city? In city, people are just on their own, independent, enjoying their freedom, which they don't enjoy in the village. Village में there is supervision, community, chacha ji, sarpanch, everybody knows him. Okay, in city you are on your own. Since you are on your own, you are prone to depression, anxiety. Suicide is the extreme step. Okay. And I often believe, I often say this, Durkheim is one thinker who has repeated the same, and he is the actually original person to have said this. In anxiety and depression is the result of people staying in urban livelihood, urban cities. The moment they go to village, the moment they go to what we call as some communities, they find support system, they find strong integration, they don't find as much anxiety or depression. Patterns, there is pattern to anxiety and depression as well. It is low here, high there. Understood? That means sociologists can study everything. Prima facie we think anxiety should be subject matter of psychologists. Prima facie we think suicide should be subject matter of psychologists. But as I told you, psychologist is not going to have that patterns at wider level in city, in what we call as village, among genders, among classes. He will just look into your mind. Let me check your mind. There is something wrong in your mind. Mind. He will not be able to see anything outside the mind. Look at the class he's coming from, the place he's coming from, the gender he belongs to. These things affect his or her health as much as you think the mind may be affecting him. So sociologists are not equal to psychologists. First, let me make this very clear. And to give you one example, there is a person who is seen as mad person. He's mad. Okay, he's crazy. But then there is a thing called as mob. Mob suna hai? Mob. Can anyone tell me what is mob? And I'll ask you one more question. What is the difference between mob and crowd? Mob और crowd में I don't know what do we call them in Hindi. Okay. भीड़ तो दोनों को ही कहते होंगे, बट मॉब को शायद कुछ और भी बोलते होंगे. ओके. क्राउड इज व्हाट यू सी इन शॉपिंग मॉल. बहुत सारे लोग, कोई डोमिनोज में बैठा है, कोई केएफसी में बैठा है, कोई पर्स खरीद रहा है, कोई लेदर के शूज ले रहा है. ओके. कोई घड़ी, कोई मूवी देखने आया था, ये सब के लिए नहीं. क्राउड तो बहुत है. Thousands of people I see inside, thousands of people I see going outside. This is crowd. And what is mob? You know what is mob? The moment you tell someone or you make announcement, there is a bomb in this mall. The moment you make this announcement, the crowd that you see very unorganized will become highly organized and charged. Anybody who comes before that crowd will get the same consequence that bomb may have on anyone. That whole crowd will become like a bomb. It can smash anyone. This is what mob is. Can psychologists study mob? No, he can study someone as mad person. He can't study mob. Some unknown power comes to the crowd, takes the crowd away from themselves. Something that happens when you enter into college fest. कॉलेज फेस्ट में जाते क्या होता है, फेस्ट है फेस्ट, चलो डांस करें. फेस्ट है फेस्ट. ओके. शुरू में लगता है यार क्या ये सब चल रहा है, बट एकदम से आपको थोड़ी देर में ना चार्ज फील होता है, एक चार्ज. वो चार्ज आपको घर पे अकेले बैठ के फील होने ही नहीं वाला. उस चार्ज के लिए आपको वो एटम्स चाहिए आसपास, तभी यू विल फील चार्ज्ड. दिस रिएक्शन विल बी स्टडीड बाय सोशियोलॉजिस्ट, नॉट साइकोलॉजिस्ट. Psychologists only study what is going on inside the mind. He is not able to see the bonds connecting individuals. Understood this or not? Okay. This was basic idea of sociology as a discipline. And to sum it up in 2 points, I will say sociology defamiliarizes the familiar and finds patterns in randomness. On the basis of data. First point, defamiliarizes the familiar. Familiar means you know what is joint family, nuclear family, you know what is suicide. It is all familiar to you. But when I told you outsiders are having higher chances of rate of suicide, this was not familiar to you. You have started looking at suicide as a different phenomena now, which is subject to changes in the social world that we are living in. City places having high suicide rate. Now you got defamiliar with what you see as familiar. There is a person called as Ramchandra Guha. Have you heard of him? Very popular person and writes on everything in planet Earth. Okay. Ramchandra Guha says Bangalore is the suicide city of India. And he himself lives in Bangalore, by the way. Okay. Bangalore is the suicide city. Why? Because it is the fastest moving cities among the fastest moving cities in India. In that fast paced life, nobody has time to check the time. Itna fast hai. Nobody has time to meet people. You feel isolated in such kind of cities. The fast moving urbanism is taking toll on your health. You are expected to come at 9 a.m. every day, and you are expected not to leave the office before 5. And you have to repeat this for many weeks and months or years together. And you are not allowed to feel monotony. You are not allowed to feel boredom. By chance, if you feel, you will no longer be left to feel it. Okay. And Bangalore has taken lives of many people. This is what Ramchandra Guha says. Not just Bangalore, any village which is going to become like a Bangalore will take lives of many people. The data published by Government of India says that the year 2024, 2023 was the highest ever suicide in Indian history. And why? Because aspirations are rising in the modern world. As long as we were limited to our villages or families, so we had limited ambition, but now we are given freedom to pursue whatever you like. This individual thinking is making us question our decisions sometimes. Okay. Sociology is studying these patterns. Understood this. Defamiliarize the familiar. Find patterns in randomness. Okay. Now coming to how we are going to organize the class. See, for the next 5 months, 5.5 months maximum, okay, we are going to have 3-4 things in our classes. Firstly, I always make sure that whenever we complete any topic, we complete it with PYQ, okay, without which we cannot progress and without which we cannot move to second unit. Now, when it comes to PYQ, one could ask me, sir, everybody is checking PYQ. Then how are we going to be different? You will still be different. These are some of the questions that I'll address today. Okay. You will still be different because everybody has seen PYQ. You can analyze it. Seeing something, analyzing something, Zameen or Asman? Sir, but he has also analyzed. If I also analyze, then how am I going to be different? How do you analyze is what makes you different. हर सवाल का जवाब है. एनालाइज सब कर रहे हैं. अरे बैट्समैन बहुत हैं, बैट से स्कोर नहीं आता, खेलने के तरीके से स्कोर आता है. ठीक है, तरीका आपको अपना देखना पड़ेगा कि वो आपको अपना बनाना है. एंड लेट मी ऑल्सो टेल यू वन थिंग, do not ever, not just limited to sociology, but I'm talking about GS as well, do not ever fall for extra content. The word is very popular, value addition is what they call it as. Okay, stay away from this word forever in your life and you will be very happy, trust me. You know what is the real meaning of value addition? You add value to your content when you revise it multiple times, but this is so unfortunate that in the name of value addition we are just doing content addition, not getting enough time to revise what we are studying. How are we then adding value? आप समझ रहे हो? अभी हमने क्लास में जो थोड़ा बहुत भी किया, इसको इसी को अगर आप सिर्फ 15 मिनट कर लोगे घर जाके ना, वो वैल्यू एडिशन था. आप समझ रहे हो? एनीवे, क्लास में वी डू PYQs, extremely important. Second thing that we do in the class is, of course, answer writing sessions. Answer writing sessions. Initially, I'll be writing answers to some of the questions. Okay. Even before that, I will like you to write answers on your own without fear of being judged. Okay. By the person sitting next to you. Okay. You just have to write freely. You need to break away from all those barriers, all those fears first. And in the class itself, you have to break. First, you commit mistake, which you will. And it is human to err. That is very natural. First step will be commit mistakes. Then what happens? Then what happens is, I'll be solving some PYQ or I'll be writing answer. When I'll write answer, then you will start comparing it with what you have written. And then you will start understanding, okay, fine. So, okay, fine, I may have written notes, not answer. So gradually you will start understanding the subtle difference between notes and answer. These two important words. Okay, दोनों की अपनी अहमियत है. नोट्स के बिना आंसर आ नहीं सकता, बट नोट्स खुद आंसर नहीं है. ये भी समझना जरूरी है. और ये समझोगे कब? जब खुद गलती करोगे तब ही. उसके पहले आप कभी नहीं समझ पाओगे. You can't learn how to drive the car until you crash into one or two. एक तो टक्कर मारनी पड़ेगी जीवन में दूसरी गाड़ी को, तभी हम, ट्रस्ट में, तभी हम सीखेंगे गाड़ी चलाना. ठीक है, बस ऐसा नहीं कि सच में हमको करना है एक्सीडेंट, बट ये हो जाता है, कोई प्लान नहीं करता है इसको. ओके, एनीवे, तो ग्रेजुअली you learn difference between notes and answer. Fine. Third thing that we do in the class, after completion of the topic, we do live MCQ. This is my favorite area. Live MCQ. MCQ for sociology, although all of us are habituated to idea of MCQ in prelims, कि वहां होते हैं 4 ऑप्शन, इसमें क्या मतलब है, राइट? इसमें भी मतलब है. आप नोटिस करना एक चीज, इफ एनी वन ऑफ यू हैज एवर गिवन प्रीलिम्स का मॉक एनी टाइम, इवन इफ यू गेट इट रॉन्ग, यू विल रिमेंबर इट. नोटिस किया कभी आपने? खासकर पॉलिटी में बहुत होता होगा ये आपके साथ. पॉलिटी आप बहुत पढ़ोगे, गलती होगी, बट वो गलती से ही याद हुआ है. अब पढ़ के नहीं हो रहा था, अब याद हो गया. कभी नोटिस किया? ऐसा होता है. यही तो उसकी खासियत थी मॉक की. पर अनफॉर्चुनेटली होता क्या, हम पैनिक कर जाते हैं, सर हमारे गलत हो गए। अरे ये तो सोचो याद हो गए, वो एंगल हम पकड़ नहीं रहे, याद होता ही ऐसे है। ओके, live MCQ will actually help you to get those ideas that we study in class reinforced in your mind. Okay, live MCQ will help you revise and reinforce the facts or their application. And fourth thing that we do in the class is very important, is tests. There are total 6 tests. 4 sectional and 2 full length. Understood this point? Sectional means, see, the paper of sociology in UPSC is of 3 hours. Okay. Sectional means initially you will be solving paper for 1.5 hours. The duration of it will be 1.5 hours. Okay. The original UPSC paper is going to have approximately 28 questions, out of which you have to solve 19. Okay, eliminating all the option का thing. Out of 28 you have to attempt 19, यानी 19 सवाल करने हैं 3 घंटे में उस दिन यूपीएससी में। सेक्शनल में क्या होएगा फिर, उसका ठीक हाफ, 1.5 आवर में कितने करने हुए, अप्रोक्सीमेटली 9 और 10। ओके, तो 9 और 10 क्वेश्चंस इन 1.5 आवर। एंड ये तो फुल लेंथ जैसे होता है वो तो है ही। ओके, 19 क्वेश्चंस इन 3 आवर्स। Other than these 4, what do we do? Other than these 4, we also give handouts to you. Okay, there is a thing called as handouts. And trust me, this will be just a formality on our part. You will yourself realize that you are not studying it, you are not going through it, you are just reading the class notes. You may definitely give a reading to handouts, but sometimes what happens is you get so much comfortable with your own written thing because you were attended in that class and you had written down everything after understanding, and that is why you get more familiar with what you have written. And suddenly when someday somebody will give you this handout, ये यूनिट 1, एक सेकंड के लिए थोड़ा सा ना एलियन लगेगा पहली बारी में, स्पेशली लैंग्वेज शायद आपको थोड़ी एलियन लगे, तो हो सकता है you may get comfortable with that handout over a period of time, but trust me, class notes will suffice. You don't need anything else other than class notes. Even if somebody tells you name of books like Harlambus, Ritzer, Sangwan, Igno, you don't have to read anything else. I am making this statement not for the first time. I have made this statement in every batch. I have never ever recommended even a single book. The reason is very simple. You are not here to become sociologists. Preparing for exam is different from preparing for the subject. Okay, if you really want to prepare for the subject called as sociology, not for the examination on sociology by UPSC, then you may read Harlambus, then you may read Ritzer. Okay, you want result, but I want results. My target is bigger than yours. Why would I not encourage anyone to read extra books if they are going to help? No, they do not help. And that is why my only request would be to just follow whatever we are doing in the class. Now, next question that comes is, sir, if all of us are studying same source, like if all of us are following your content only, then how our answers will be different? Trust me, if all of you will read Lakshmikant polity, your score will still be different. साइंस है, साइंस। आप कोई भी किताब इस दुनिया में पढ़ लो, 100 के 100 लोग पढ़ लो 2 घंटे लगा के, और तीसरे घंटे टेस्ट होएगा, क्या 100 के नंबर सेम होंगे? होने ही नहीं। बात फिर किसकी होती है? इट्स नॉट अबाउट विच कंटेंट यू आर रीडिंग, इट्स अबाउट हाउ मेनी टाइम्स हैव यू रिवाइज्ड एंड डिड यू फाइंड इंटरेस्ट, डिड यू इंटरनलाइज इट। दिस इज गोइंग टू क्रिएट द डिफरेंस एंड इवेंचुअली राइटिंग के ऊपर काम करना। Don't think content creates the difference. You are the content creator. And the only content that examiner is interested to find in your copy is answer. Most of the people are reading from the same source, but most of them are writing notes. Few are writing answers, and few know how to write answer. So there is layer 2, the same phenomena. Okay. This is what the basic idea is. Fifth point addressed. Now, lastly, sixth point. I expect all of you guys, online or offline, okay, to be regular in the classes. This is June, okay. I am planning to complete this course by the end of October, okay, and I may start taking extra classes in between, okay, because this time around, because ना हमारे लिए एक नेगेटिव फीडबैक बड़ा आता है कि लेट करते हैं, लेट करते हैं। मुझे लगा इनको ज़रा मैं इस बार पकड़ूं, ये जो फैलाते हैं लेट करते हैं, ज़रा इन्हीं को मैं बताऊं, ठीक है। लेट करते हैं, किसी को शौक नहीं होता इस जीवन में लेट करने का, कोर्स पता है ना आपको, ठीक है। सब लोग चाहते हैं सब जल्दी जल्दी कोर्स कंप्लीट करें, हम भी तो ये चाहेंगे जल्दी कोर्स कंप्लीट हो और नया कोर्स लॉन्च करें, बट हम कभी वो नहीं करते। हमारे लिए इंपॉर्टेंट पता है क्या होता है? बच्चा आराम से पढ़े लेकिन अच्छे से पढ़े, जल्दबाजी में नहीं। क्योंकि इफ़ वी आर प्रॉमिसिंग टू ऑल ऑफ यू कि बस इतना ही पढ़ना काफ़ी है, तो हमको डिलीवर तो करना ही पड़ेगा वैसा कि उतना पढ़ाया जाए, तो उसमें टाइम लगता है, स्पेशली व्हेन वी आर सॉल्विंग PYQs एंड डूइंग आंसर राइटिंग एज वेल। तो मुझको बस इतना ही वक्त दे देना कि मुझको इतना वक्त दे दो, ठीक है, 5.5 महीने का। एंड ट्रस्ट मी, इसके बाद आपको एक चीज भी पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी। जैसे मैंने आपको बोला, मुझको रिजल्ट्स चाहिए, और इसलिए फोकस हमारा एग्जाम पे ज्यादा रहेगा, प्लस इंटरेस्ट पे हमेशा रहेगा, क्योंकि उसके बिना यू कांट गेट मार्क्स। ओके, एनीवे, सो बी रेगुलर, ओके, in the classes. Okay, how do we give handouts? See, when we complete the unit, we give handout. Okay, we can give handout even before the start of the unit, but that will not help you because anyway वो समझ नहीं आएगा, तो वो point तो वहीं कट गया। We can give you handout in the middle of the classes before completing the unit, कुछ नहीं होएगा, तो भी पढ़ने नहीं वाले, क्योंकि तब तक फ्लो बन चुका होगा क्लास में और उसके साथ कंफर्ट बन चुका होगा, तो बचा क्या? ये सब हम सब कुछ करके देख चुके हैं प्रीवियस बैचेस में, तब जाके ही इस पॉइंट पे हम अराइव किए कि वी शुड बी गिविंग हैंड आउट टू यू वंस वी आर डन विद द unit. Why? Because now that you have understood the unit on your own in the classes by writing, now you, if by chance refer handout, they will start making sense to you now. Okay, अच्छा, हाँ, ये अच्छा आप ठीक, but if you start giving it right away in the first class, it will not make sense. Fine. So unit handouts to be given after class, after the unit completion. Okay, this is what the basic idea is. When it comes to mentorship, be it offline student or online student, we are always available, not 24/7. Okay, always available means always available according to given schedule. Okay, when it comes to mentorship for online students, see, the idea is very simple. We conduct online Zoom sessions separately, but this time around, since we have online students little bit more in number than offline, so we may conduct special classes as well, or क्या कहते हैं, what we call as आपका mentorship session for online students. Okay, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay, mentorship is given by me and some of my students who have gotten selection. Okay, this year we will have as mentor Ravish Mittal, who got rank 379, and there will be one more student, Aman Pratap, maybe he will be available for you as a mentor. Okay, but this is not the stage for mentorship. Trust me, in very simple language, what we do as teacher is mentorship only. Guiding the student is nothing but mentorship. So we don't sell it as a different course that you purchase mentorship. It sounds very absurd. Okay, that if I'm talking to someone, now if that becomes a commodity, that for talking you need to enroll, so this sounds so absurd to me that we are not able to, and we can't even think of launching separate mentorship course for that. Okay, but since time and space and all those factors must be taken into consideration, so what we do is, after the class, if you have any doubt, you are free to ask me. Okay, in between the classes you are free to raise your hand. Okay, I'll make sure कि आपको कम से कम डाउट्स आए, बट इसका ये मतलब नहीं आप डाउट पूछ नहीं सकते हो, आप जब मर्जी पूछो हाथ रेज करके. ओके, जब भी मुझे लगा कि हाँ यहाँ बनता भी है, आई विल डेफिनेटली आस्क यू टू आस्क मी. ओके, so this is how we do mentorship in the class itself, वहीं पे doubt solving and after the classes as well, कुछ अगर doubts आपके extra है तो. Okay, and with online we will be doing Zoom sessions. Okay, maybe alternate days, or maybe we'll be charting out plan for that. Okay, by most probably by tomorrow we'll be charting out the plan for that. If you have any query from your side, you are most welcome to ask me, please. किसी का कुछ भी क्वेश्चन है, कुछ भी डाउट है, you must get that answer right away. ऑनलाइन स्टूडेंट्स, कोई भी डाउट आपका और ऑफलाइन में very nice. So you've been quite participative, online guys. Very nice. So I guess you got the idea. I think you were responding to all those slides that we just went through. Yeah, was perfect session. Thank you, Sir Sarvyapi. Sir, what is current affairs in the optional? Okay. ये मिस हो गया. Current affairs. Okay. I always say static is the king. Okay. Not to say that current affair is queen. Okay. Static is king means static is the base. It is the cake. Current affair is cherry. छोटा सा. ठीक है. बेस बड़ा होता है, चेरी छोटी होती है. ऐसा कभी आपने देखा है केक जिसमें चेरी बहुत बड़ी और बेस छोटा? ऐसा कोई केक नहीं. अगर किसी ने देख लिया, हम खाएंगे भी नहीं, क्योंकि शक होएगा क्या है ये. एग्जामिनर ने भी अगर आपका आंसर देख लिया जिसमें करंट ही करंट है और स्टैटिक गायब, उसको शॉक लग जाएगा जिंदगी का. ठीक है, करंट अफेयर मैं आपको दिल से ऑनेस्टली बता रहा हूँ, मम्मी कसम खा के. ठीक है, करंट अफेयर एक कमोडिटी है, कमोडिटी जो इस मार्केट में बहुत जल्दी सेल होती है. ठीक है, पता है क्यों? क्योंकि पहले सबको बताया जाता है स्टैटिक तो हम सब पढ़ेंगे, कुछ अलग तो करना पड़ेगा ना आपको. अब अलग कैसे करें? करंट अफेयर का कोर्स लेकर. ये मैं आपको दिल से बता रहा हूँ, ये आपको कोई नहीं बोलेगा, और वो लाइव बोल रहा हूँ, वो भी ऑनलाइन में. ठीक है, सच बता रहा हूँ. करंट अफेयर जो रेलेवेंट है ना, वो हम क्लास में ही कर देते हैं उसी टाइम पे. If I'm teaching you types of anything, I'll talk about current developments right away. Right away. Without calling it, now we are going to have separate session for current affairs, ऐसा कुछ नहीं. सटल वे में इंट्रोड्यूस हो जाएगा वो. ओके वो सटलनेस रखना बड़ा जरूरी है. सटलनेस मतलब हल्का सा चेरी पड़ा हुआ है, ज्यादा शोर नहीं मचाया कि हम चेरी भी देते हैं केक पे. ये शोर नहीं मचाना है. केक है तो चेरी हाँ ठीक है थोड़ा बहुत आ गया, फाइन, ओके. तो उतना ही करंट अफेयर हम करते हैं जितना रिक्वायर्ड है. एंड ट्रस्ट मी यू विल सी इट एज वी प्रोग्रेस. You will not get enough time to write many things or read many things because you have to write answer in 7.5 minutes for one question. 10 marks का एक क्वेश्चन है, 20 marks का दूसरा क्वेश्चन होता है. सोशियोलॉजी में एक बड़ा अच्छा एडवांटेज है, इसको लाइव बोलना अच्छा नहीं लग रहा मुझे, बट जो भी है बोल देता हूँ मैं. When you compare sociology with other social sciences in UPSC examination, sociology is the only paper where you get only 3 pages for 20 mark question. In rest of the disciplines there are 4 page. अब अगर वो हट गया इस साल और आपको भी 4 पेज करने पड़े तो आई एम नॉट रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर दैट. ओके बट एनीवे 3 पेजेस करने का मतलब पता है क्या होता है? सिर्फ 3 पेजेस लिखना. 19 questions you have to solve. 13 questions are 10 marker. 6 questions are 20 marker. 10 marker question you get 2 pages. And 20 marker question you get 3 pages. 1 page less than other subjects. And to write 1 page it takes approximately 6 minutes. Not sorry 6, 3 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. And if you are having approximately 6 page saved, you have saved 18 minutes ही set. Okay, 18 मिनट आपने बचा लिए जो बाकी लोग को एक्स्ट्रा लगाने पड़ रहे हैं. आप समझ रहे हो, ये एडवांटेज है. और इतने कम टाइम में पेपर कंप्लीट करने के लिए ये जरूरी है कि you don't flood answer with anything random or fancy. Talk to the point, write to the point, because many are not doing it, very few are doing it. I often say writing difficult is simple, but writing simple is actually very difficult. If you really want to do something difficult, try writing simple, then you will see how difficult it is. It is easy to write fancy words and complex sentences in the name of philosophy, sociology. भारी भारी बातें करना is very easy. That is why people start thinking कि यार मैं ये language कैसे बनाऊंगा language. Trust me, you don't need to develop command over language to get good score in sociology. For that matter, in essay. Although I still recommend you must read newspaper or monthly current or you must stay updated, but not with the intent of scoring high. You must read newspaper for your own what? For your own personality development. Until you read newspaper, you are not seen as aware person. You are not seen as updated. Okay. अखबार पढ़ने से जागरूकता बनती है, नजरिए बनते हैं और चाय पीते टाइम बहस करने के पॉइंट भी बनते हैं. ठीक है, पर्सनैलिटी बनती है ऑल इन ऑल देखा जाए तो. लेकिन अखबार पढ़ने से स्कोर आता है ये आपको कोई नहीं बोलने वाला. अगर किसी ने बोल दिया बहुत ही गंदा कोरिलेशन बनाया है, बहुत ही गंदा. द मोर यू रीड न्यूज पेपर द मोर मार्क्स यू गेट. Nobody will ever tell you, because the examination is not about knowledge, it's about precision. How well can you write is what is going to matter, not how more you know than others. This is why I always say, write like a first attempter, but know it like a sixth attempter. कि आपको ज्ञान तो अच्छा होना चाहिए, सॉलिड, आपका बेस बहुत सॉलिड होना चाहिए, पर जब बात आती है लिखने की, सिंपल लिखना है। आप समझ गए ना? तो बस दिस इज व्हाट आई वांटेड टू एम्फसाइज ऑन। नाउ लेट अस गो थ्रू योर क्वेश्चंस गाइस। ओके पीयूष, सॉरी मैंने कुछ ज्यादा ही बता दिया करंट अफेयर वाला, वो थोड़ा लंबा चले गया, आई एम रियली सॉरी। फाइटर सर, आई वॉच द डेमो लेक्चर ऑफ फाउंडेशन टिल काउंटर एनलाइटनमेंट मेड क्लास नोट्स 1 month ago. कैन आई स्किप लेक्चर्स टिल दिस टॉपिक फोकसिंग ऑन अदर सब्जेक्ट्स? नहीं फाइटर, नहीं करना है। स्टार्ट लाइक अ बिगिनर फ्रॉम द स्क्रैच। ओके Saurya Chakrabarti, sir, may it happen conducting 2 class in a day as with this GS is also going 2 class a day? No, no, 2 class kahan se aa gayi in a day? No, there is no 2 class in a day. There is only 1 class in a day. Janvi, sir, can I take the printout of the handouts? Yes, definitely, Janvi. If you have printer, you can take printout. Okay. So yes, Shukla, sir, will you dictate the class notes in the class itself? Yes, I do. उसके बिना कैसे होएगा ना? Siddharth, sir, does one unit include many chapters or will we get handouts after each chapter? Yes, you get handout after each chapter. Sometimes you, uh, in the middle of the course, you may start getting handout before the lecture as well. ऐसा कोई watertight rule नहीं है ये. Okay. Sociology, what is current affair हो गया? Okay, fine. How do we cover as year proceeds? Yes, a very insightful session it was. When does the class start for offline? Aryaman Arya. For offline or online, classes have begun already. Okay, today was the first class. Abhishek Yadav, sir, are we going to study both paper together? ये बहुत नया क्वेश्चन था मेरी लाइफ में, पता है, ऐसा क्वेश्चन मैं जिंदगी में नहीं देखा है। क्यों लगता है आपको अभिषेक ऐसा, और वो होता कैसे, मुझे वो समझ ही नहीं आया। निखिल प्रसन्ना, क्वेश्चन फॉर लेटर बट वाज वंडरिंग how will the test be conducted for online students, us writing the answers and submitting them? Yes, Nikhil, basically what happens is online students get portal, access to portal, they write the test. Online students, if by chance if they are in Delhi, or if they happen to be in Delhi at that point of time or around that time when we are organizing the test, they are most welcome to write the test at the center, submit it with us. In case if they are not in Delhi, they are free to write at their home or in the library or wherever place they feel comfortable with. Upload it on our portal by scanning the pages on their own. There are many applications available for that, free application. Some of them are also available on our portal. You may download that, use it to scan your answers, compile it into PDF and upload it on the portal. This is what online students do. Okay. Offline students, they write it and then they submit it. This is what the basic idea is. Okay. So online students को कभी आंसर लिखने के लिए सेंटर पे आना भी हो, most welcome. Nobody is going to stop you here. Okay, you are most welcome. In fact, I encourage most of the students must be writing their answers, at least initial few tests, in the offline session only. Why? Because writing for 3 hours in natural setting is important. If you are writing for 3 hours at home, it may not be really natural. But when you see other people are writing और आप सोच रहे हो, आप घबरा रहे हो, आपको नहीं आया, सबको आ रहा है, वो एक्स्ट्रा शीट भी मांग रहा है, जबकि है होता नहीं एक्स्ट्रा शीट कुछ भी, ठीक है, लेकिन तो भी मांग रहा है वो, और उसके बाद जो आपको डर लग रहा है यार मेरा कैसे हो गया, ये सब चीजें जो है नेचुरल सेटिंग में लिखना इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, क्योंकि वहां होगा ऐसा, किसी का पेन रुक गया, आपसे बीच में पेन मांग रहे हैं, पेन दे दो, आपका 5 सेकंड खाया उसने, ठीक है, ये होता है नेचुरल सेटिंग। ओके, बीच में पेपर लिखते लिखते वो इन्विजिलेटर आ रहे हैं कि सर ये बबल भर दीजिए, अरे आपको अभी भरवाना है क्या, पेपर से पहले भरवा लेते ये सब, उसे कहते हैं नेचुरल सेटिंग। उस सेटिंग में आप जब लिखोगे यहाँ पर, that will be more beneficial than sitting comfortably at home or library. Okay, fine. Mm, yes, Dheeraj. Sir, online students, those who have personal doubts, how can they personal doubts? Academic doubts, right? Yes, see, definitely you can ask your academic doubts. Okay, and how do you ask? So there are two, three things. See, first is our Telegram channel. Okay, we make Telegram channel. There we add all the members, and there we make a separate group as well. That is open group. Me and other tech team and other members and mentors are also there in that Telegram group. Okay, we are there to respond to your queries, and I am super active on Telegram. Trust me, super active. तो कोई करे ना करे मैं तो करता ही हूँ रिप्लाई. ठीक है, बीट 1 or 2 AM एज वेल, क्योंकि लेट नाइट सोने की आदत अभी तक नहीं है जीवन में. ओके, so don't worry about it. Personal doubts will be entertained or addressed. Okay, but please understand, most of the doubts you should be asking in the class itself. जितना क्लास में ही आप पूछ लोगे उतना ही अच्छा रहेगा आपके लिए भी और बाकियों के लिए भी. एटलीस्ट सी, इफ यू आस्क क्वेश्चन इन द क्लास, the other person who is not feeling comfortable to ask that question, he may find comfort ki okay, if not me, at least he asked on my behalf. Okay, so many a times that helps to everyone. Sir, will you dictate the notes in the, yes वो तो हो गया है. Fine. अच्छा, can I attend offline and online if we miss any? Yes, yes, sometimes it is very much permissible, and admins know that it's very usual for anyone to miss by chance any classes. Even with the online it may happen. Okay, so you are free to write an mail, email to the admin in case you miss the class online by chance. The deadline has also gone. You are free to write email. On the website we have to write 48 hours time limit, okay, to enforce discipline. If we say, and we have checked it, it is also based on data. Okay, there is a pattern. If we say that videos will be available till lifeline, okay, your attempts will also go like that. Trust me. If you know there is limit, कुछ भी करके आप खत्म करोगे, बट आप टाइमली खत्म करोगे. आई हैव कम अक्रॉस मेनी स्टूडेंट्स हु हैव टोल्ड मी उनका जीएस 3 साल से खत्म नहीं हुआ, बट सोशियोलॉजी उनका खत्म हो गया वक्त पे. क्यों 3 साल से खत्म नहीं हुआ? क्योंकि उनकी वैलिडिटी है 4 साल की वीडियोस की. जबकि कोर्स अगर बिना वैलिडिटी के होता इतना, वो उसी टाइम खत्म कर चुके होते. एंड मैनी ऑफ यू हु हैव एक्सपीरियंस दिस विल अग्री टू मी अनकॉन्शियसली. ओके, कि जितना वैलिडिटी बढ़ाई जाती उतना ही आप डिले करते हो. ओके. फाइन. ओके. Hi sir, in the sociology paper, can we state example from our own personal life? Is that okay or it should be avoided? Gradually, Neha, you will start avoiding example from your personal life. You will get enough examples in our classes given by thinkers or case studies or some newspaper articles. So you don't need to really drop example from your personal life. Do you teach only in only in English? See, there is nothing like only English. Most of the times I'm speaking in English. Okay, you can safely assume in the class of 2.5 hours I'm using 75% English, 25% Hindi, or 15% Hindi, or maybe 10% English. Okay. Work expands to fill the time given. Yes, definitely that happens. Even I am from Bangalore. You should please stay safe, Vinu. Okay, fine, guys. So with this, I'll conclude today's class. Yes, Hanji. What will be? How our relationship will continue? Our relationship will continue till eternity. Till eternity. Okay. You will become IAS officer. You may forget me, but I will never forget you. Okay, our relationship will continue. Yes. Short notes. Good question. Okay, when do you start making short notes? See, this question is very important for many reasons. Everybody would have notes, the same notes that we are studying. You would have the handouts or the class notes, dictated notes. Short notes is your own creativity, and you make short notes after revising the same thing multiple times. You can't read one thing one time, start making short note right away. But when you read one thing multiple times, you have written test also on that, have realized the difference between reading for the test and writing the test, that will be the time when you will actually be writing good short notes. So that means the perfect time to write short notes would be only after writing the test on those units. Okay, then you will know कि मेरे को मैंने पढ़ा बहुत कुछ था, याद तो इतना ही हो रहा है और ये याद क्यों नहीं हो रहा था जो इंपॉर्टेंट था. तब आप समझ जाओगे इंपॉर्टेंट क्या होता है, क्या इंपॉर्टेंट कम होता है, स्टेटमेंट्स क्या होते हैं और कीवर्ड्स क्या होता है. वो धीरे धीरे you will eventually fill the gap. Okay, so your short notes must always consist of, initially it will consist of long sentences. Initially you may look into the handout or class note directly and copy paste into your own copy and call it a short note of your own. Gradually you will see they are just a replica. They will not be called as short note until you have condensed the sentences into word or keyword or few words. Eventually you'll start making flow charts. Okay, you'll start making diagrams to make it not just appealing but to also short and precise. This will help you to save your notes from sharing with your peer group as well, because they will not understand what have you written. Okay, and I firmly believe your short note should be the one, should be accessible only to yourself. It should not be accessible to anybody else. If other person is able to understand what you have written in your short notes, it is still not short notes. Okay, fine. Any other question? How should we analyze the syllabus? Trust me, see, syllabus, I would say you should know what your syllabus is. Okay, but when it comes to analyzing, it is PYQ which requires analysis, not syllabus. Syllabus is there. Now you have to analyze by referring PYQ what exactly from this syllabus has been recurring topic, is significant theme, how many times has it been repeated, in what forms. This is what analysis would be like. Understood? So when are you launching your book? My book, Naveen, my target got revised just few weeks back. We were about to publish it this month. Okay, but due to some issues, the 1 month delay may take place. Okay, sir, all classes will be on Zoom only. Yes, Tithi, classes will be on Zoom. Okay, on our portal basically. Today's class though was definitely on YouTube only, but online classes get uploaded, get streamed through Zoom. And what should be our self-study pattern throughout this journey of sociology? Self-study pattern throughout this journey of sociology. To all those who are doing self-study, I would definitely request all of them, whenever you are studying on yourself, okay, by yourself, through any book, always make it a point that I have read it. Have I understood it? The second question is very, very important. Have I understood means you should always have one yardstick whenever you read anything on your own, be it sociology, be it GS or economy, polity, history, whatever it is. Can I explain whatever I have just read to a layman? If not, I am yet to figure this out. What have I read? But if I'm not able to explain it to a layman, that means I have just read, not understood. This should be the only yardstick that every self-study person should have. Okay. Sir, please repeat. Defamiliarize the familiar. Oh, defamiliarize the familiar. पहले मैं उसको हिंदी में बता देता हूँ आपको. फैमिलियर मीन्स वाकिफ होना है ना. यही होता है ना. उर्दू होता है बेसिकली वो. ठीक है, हिंदी में को उसका ध्यान नहीं आ रहा है. डीफैमिलियराइज मतलब कि जब उस चीज से जिसको आप जैसे आप वाकिफ समझते थे, आप अब आप उसको एक अजनबी की तरह देख रहे हो. ओके. स्ट्रेंज, फाइंडिंग स्ट्रेंज इन समथिंग फैमिलियर is what we call as getting defamiliar with the familiar. So for example, you knew it very well that yes, marriage exists in society, divorce exists in society, crime exists in society, suicide exists in society, poverty exists in society, industrialization is taking place in society. You are familiar to all those things. But with industrialization, divorce rate goes high is not something you were familiar with. Now you have started realizing, okay, so there is some correlation between these things with what we call as aspiration and ambition rising with modern education. We see dilution of caste system at certain layer, rise of caste system from some other layer. Okay, so we start seeing the familiar thing in a very different light. Now we start seeing how it really evolves, how it changes, adapts. This is a strange way of looking at the familiar things. So this is what we call as looking at those things scientifically. Okay. So we have known those things, but we are yet to find signs in those. And the task of sociology is to enable you to find signs in those things. Okay. 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 Will you be conducting recorded class or live class daily? Sandeep, it will be live class only. The live class will get uploaded, then it will be called as recorded class, but it will be first live class. Okay. Sir, I have issues in answer writing, then how can I ask you directly? Yes, Dheeraj, in fact, what happens is many students have issue with answer writing. This is an important area. When we start doing answer writing session, I will definitely address all those issues because that is something that I emphasize a lot on. Okay, so you don't have to worry about that. That day itself, you will ask me question, I'll respond to you. Sir, I'm preparing with job. I get around 5 hours every day. How many hours every day should I give to sociology? If you are aiming for 2026 Sagar, I firmly believe that you should give at least 3 hours to sociology. If you are left with 5 hours, 3 hours to sociology. Okay. If you are aiming for 2026. And 3 hours should be dedicated one, because you know what happens is maybe you are left with 5 hours, but you are not studying really for 5 hours at a stretch. So घूम फिर के 3 ही हो जाता है cumulatively. So make sure that you read 3 hours religiously. Piyush Verma, post every class, how much is expected and we should do? After class, you are only expected to just revise whatever we have studied, nothing else. Okay, I don't expect anything else. Whatever we did today, although it is just an introduction, even pre-introduction, I would say, whatever we have done today, if you just revise it and revise it for maximum 15-20 minutes, that will suffice. You don't have to do anything else. Okay, in the process of revision, you will start going back to what you were studying in the class, and you may start even asking, but ये ऐसे भी तो हो सकता था, ऐसे क्यों लिखा है सर ने? आपके दिमाग में सवाल आने शुरू होंगे और वहीं से लर्निंग शुरू, और सवाल आने का मतलब क्या है? इंटरेस्ट आना शुरू हो चुका है, और वही मुझे चाहिए. इंटरेस्ट तभी आता है जब सवाल आते हैं, इसलिए सवाल जब आए, डू नॉट कंटेन योर सेल्फ, ask those questions openly. Okay, so interest is very important thing. Any other question, guys? No, it will be too soon to make short notes right after first class, Survi. As I said, you can't make short notes properly until you write the first test. As we progress along the test, you will be finding yourself more comfortable in making short notes. Okay, so make it a point. Read things in the class. Be attentive after the class. Revise it very briefly. Maintain this cycle for few weeks. Then you will write the test. For the test, you will again have to revise. Eventually, when you will revise it so many times and then write it one fine day, you will then find the difference between knowing things and writing. This gap will be bridged the very next day when you start making short notes. Online students who are living in Delhi, are they allowed to come to meet offline? Yes, definitely. Okay. Okay, guys. So I'll see you guys, Hanji. Between in the middle of courses, we'll be conducting tests. Whenever we conduct a test, we inform you 15 days prior to that. 15 days. Okay. That is sufficient window to prepare for the test. Fine. And maybe if I talk about the first test will have 2 units. Okay, the first 2 units, unit 1 and 2. Fine. And we will inform you 15 days prior to that. Most probably by the end of this month, you will have your first test. Okay, or maybe 20 days later. Okay, but whatever it is, we will inform 15 days prior. Okay, thank you, sir. Looking forward to the lectures. Thank you. Okay, Tithi, thank you. Yeah, see this. Yeah, Kargil guy, you can ask doubts live, definitely, through chat box. Okay, see you guys.